So all those nerds in high school, like the weird theater kids and the anime people and you know who I'm talking about, the people we didn't hang out with. So they've grown up now, and they're the ones making the laws. They're the Mark Zuckerbergs. They're the Faucis of the world, of fucking nerds. Those fucking dorks that never got laid in high school, and they got a major chip on their shoulder against the normies. That's why you see all these fat ass fucks making laws. Oh, you can be obese and anorexic. Okay, sure. They're the ones inventing clown world. They're the ones in media. They're the actors. You wonder why actors are so politically leftist? Oh, right. It's because they're loser theater kids. They're the theater kids who grew up, and now they're telling me and you what to think. They're telling me and you what to do, and they're making the laws in this country. Well, it's time to stand the fuck up and stop being scared. Like, why are we scared of these people? They were massive losers in high school, and they're massive losers today. It's time to put the motherfucking nerds back in their place, stand the fuck up, and speak.
Hello. It is Wednesday and it is time for Pop and Politics. We are talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ, along with Shelly E.
Hi, everybody.
And also joining us tonight is Shemeka Michelle.
Special guest.
Yes, special guest. Shemeka Michelle. She is a contributor with The Blaze TV, also on Fearless with Jason Whitlock. Welcome tonight, Shemeka.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, so we are as well. So as I always say, join the conversation by leaving a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. If you miss us here on YouTube, you can catch us on Rumble, or you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the same name, Pop and Politics. Guys, we are an independent media, and if you want to support what we do, your super chats go a long way to helping us produce conservative content. Any amount is appreciated. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that understand we are living in urgent times, and there's a target on our backs because we value freedom. Yet we still stand. Join us, subscribe, stand with us to amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off. So I want to get into what we opened the show with. That was TikToker Lilly Gaddis. She's been fired after casually dropping the N-word in a cooking video she posted. It was viral. This video went viral. She filmed herself in the kitchen as she used this racist slur. Also, some other things she said. Take a look here. This is clip number 2.
Okay, this time I have a beef with the male community. I give my criticisms to all because we are all about equity and inclusion here, right? So I'm sick and tired of all girls getting blamed, or like guys, certain guys, thinking that all girls are gold diggers. I don't know if it's because you get your information from those street interviews in like Miami at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub. You're getting the opinion of some dumb whores and immigrants fresh off the boat looking for a green card. Yes, they are probably gold diggers, but that's the exception. I'm the rule. Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke ass, and they don't care. We don't give a fuck about your money. I couldn't care less about your fucking money, okay?
Okay, so you see where she dropped the N-word. We had it bleeped out. She's saying most people she know is married to broke ass N-word. Shelly, what are your thoughts?
I don't even know why KJ asked me this question, because she knows what I'm probably going to say. I say play the tape. Let the woman say what she wants to say. You know I will stand on this with 1A. I even have it highlighted, underlined in my own little pocket constitution. I don't have a problem with anybody saying whatever the hell they want to say. I don't have to like it, don't have to agree with it. But I certainly am more against censoring people and these buzzwords or certain words are protected and certain words are not. Who the hell cares? Say what you want. That is my position.
Shemeka, what are your thoughts on her saying that?
Look, it didn't hurt my feelings. If anything, it put me to sleep simply because I just don't feel like these type of people have the guts and the gusto to keep going and to stand. I'll see in about a year where she is because we know how much pushback we get from just talking common sense. I agreed with her in her what she was saying as far as you're asking whores. Most of the time that is who they're asking, or women who are living off the government anyway, and they have this unrealistic idea of what a man is bringing home. So I do get that whole sentiment about you're asking gold diggers who are just dumb and stupid. So I agree with her. But I just don't know if I feel like she has the guts to keep going and to stand. We'll see. I know that conservatives, a lot of times they see these people and they're like, oh yeah, they're on our side. And then a month later, they're doing the moonwalk backwards, like, stuff has started to get hard in life. They're losing friends, they're losing family, and they don't really have what it takes to just stick with it. So for me, she didn't bother me with what she said. I'm just not impressed.
Right.
Now, before her videos took off on social media, she worked as a marketing and sales manager at Roth of the Carolinas, a home health care company for elderly and disabled in Wilmington, North Carolina. So she was fired. Roth put out a statement and said the employee Tuesday that the newly hired employee was asked over inflammatory remarks on social media that do not align with the values and beliefs of our company. She responded and she tweeted out and said, "Oh no, I just got fired, mob." Do you think she should have been fired?
No, I don't think she should have been fired. I am of the belief that what you do on your personal time is your personal time. You're not being paid by whatever that company is or XYZ company, number one. Number two, I would bet you dimes to donuts. The company that fired her, I bet they have a DEI or affirmative action program, and I bet you those so-called minority people there that support that program don't think that program is belittling them and demeaning them because they're only coddling to them based on their race. But oh no, somebody says, can we say it here? See, we censored here too, right? Can we say it here? Somebody says the N word and black people all up in a damn tizzy, like somebody just came and burned their house down. But I think we're going to talk about burning a little bit later too.
Yeah. Shemeka, what are your thoughts there? Do you think she should have gotten fired?
Yeah, I don't think she should have gotten fired. From my understanding, it's actually a black-owned company. Like maybe she works for this Jamaican lady. So if that's the case, I'm pretty sure we could listen to her playlist, and it has plenty of music with the N word or calling women bitches or hoes or whatever. And so I just kind of think it's hypocritical when we listen to that type of music all day, every day. And you have a lot of these young people who that's what they grew up listening to. This is their lingo. This is how they talk. And she felt comfortable saying it. And do I think that she probably was like, yeah, I'm going to go viral? Of course.
Right.
But I do think she's young and she's probably said it so many times that it is what it is. If we have
Right.
such a problem with it as black people, take it out in the music. We need to
That's what
stop
I said.
saying it ourselves. It doesn't bother me because there are times when I say N word, please.
Yeah.
N word, you must be crazy.
I just said
So,
it a couple days ago.
Right, yeah.
so it
Yeah, well,
doesn't
our
bother me.
community generally will push back against it if someone from an opposite race or other race, I should say, says it.
Hmm.
But as you mentioned, it's in music. People are using it left and right nowadays. It makes no sense to kind of have an issue with someone saying it just because of the color of their skin, but black people say it 24/7.
Right.
Right.
I mean, again, my issue is not just because she's a Caucasian lady. My issue is that it's free speech. The speech that we need to protect is the speech that we really disagree with. Because when we start, categorizing certain speech here, so that is my ultimate problem with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will continue to follow that story and see where it goes, see if she still continues to stay in the headlines or if she kind of shies away from the spotlight. So moving on to Hunter Biden. So Hunter Biden was found guilty on all charges in his federal gun trial. So again, this is, as we know, back in 2018, Hunter lied on his firearm application when he stated he was not using drugs at the time. His lawyer argued that he was sober during the application process. A 12-person jury just found him guilty on all charges. 3 charges were making false statements while purchasing a firearm, making false statements regarding information kept by federal firearms license dealers, and unlawful possession of a firearm. Shelley, what's your response to the verdict?
The verdict was accurate in the sense it was legal by the legal standard. But make no mistake, it was political. It was sort of this political tic-tac just to make it look like it's not political, but that's basically what it was. That's what they were doing.
What do you mean by political?
It was political in the sense that, okay, Trump was prosecuted and convicted, so now the left has to pretend like they are really applying the law to make it not look political, but it is political.
Yeah. What are your thoughts there, Shemeka?
I totally agree with that. I think it was just done to say, hey, no one's above the law. But unless he goes to prison and we find out that he has dropped the soap and, I just think it was done just to say no one's above the law, because he doesn't really have to have a clean record. He is Hunter Biden. The same way his father got him those other connections and he was making all of this money with the overseas company, he can do the same thing now. So for me, they don't even care about whether or not his record is clean. But if he goes to prison, I may think differently. And that's if he goes to prison like any other person.
Exactly.
And, but otherwise, it's all a show.
Yeah. Well, the Trump campaign came out and responded. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt issued a statement saying this trial has been nothing more than a distraction from the real crimes of the Biden crime family, which has raked in tens of millions of dollars from China, Russia, and Ukraine. I want you guys to take a look. The View had a very specific response to it. This is clip number 7.
In a case like this, it was a very easy case to prove. 3 counts. They took 3 hours to deliberate. But in these kinds of cases, somebody filling out a form who is addicted to drugs and lies about being addicted to drugs, about 0.9% of those cases go to trial. Okay? So that in and of itself makes it feel like a political prosecution, but I don't feel that way. I think no one is above the law.
Yes.
He committed a crime, and now he will pay the consequences. I don't think as a first offender and as an addict, because you're always an addict, we all have addicts in our families, whether we want to talk about it or not. I think that a drug diversion program is appropriate. He will never own a firearm again because he's a felon. Neither will Trump.
Yeah.
I don't think if you're an addict, you should own a firearm.
Yeah.
I think it's a safety thing for yourself and for society. But I will say this, he's got a tax trial coming up in September. And if you already have a prior conviction, you are much more likely to serve prison time. I would imagine his lawyers are telling him, go and talk to L.A., go and talk to the U.S. Attorney's Office, plead guilty, and let's put this away so that your father can continue just running for president and you yourself can get on with your life.
So I want to unpack that. I mean, firstly, she's saying that she feels like it could have been a little political. Well, it took what? This charge, the original charge was put out in October 12th of 2018. It was known to law enforcement within less than 2 weeks that he had committed a crime. If it had not been for the IRS whistleblowers, the IRS agents that were whistleblowers, to actually push the Biden DOJ and prosecution to bring this up, they wanted this man to skate.
again, this is all for show. Yes, legally he committed those crimes, but I want to. Sunny said something I thought was pretty interesting. She said 0.9% of cases like this actually go to trial, so that's what makes it political. Well, how about 0% in the case of President Trump? That has never happened, but yet that's not just political. He needed to be prosecuted because he's above the law. He thinks he is. These women are so, I'm going to say, disingenuous, to put it lightly. Mind you that they are just biddies. They're bitter biddies. They don't even realize that their own arguments don't even flow from case to case or show to show. Did I just rhyme? But anyway, they don't. But they get on my nerves with that. They are just, if they would just own their bias, I could have more respect for them.
Right.
In this way, I don't. No.
Yeah, what are your thoughts there, Shemeka?
Yeah, I mean, if they take Biden to trial for the things that he did to his daughter in the shower, then I might believe that they are actually serious. Right now, I just don't believe it. I think that Sunny is weak, that she didn't stand on what she believed when she said it could be political. You know it's political. You just didn't want to get hammered by Whoopi and Joy. You don't have the guts, and that's what I'm saying. Most people don't have the guts, and they call us a lot of times on the right, they call us grifters. We don't make any money. It's the ones on the left that's actually racking up. All you have to do is say those same talking points that they give you, and you can go around collecting $25,000-$30,000 to speak at universities to tell these children there'll never be anything because of the color of their skin. And so I think Sunny is one of those people. She just will not stand on her square and stand 10 toes down to say what she believes. She's a phony and she's a fake. And again, take Biden to trial for what he did to Ashley. Otherwise, again, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy should be, there are so many additional charges that need to come against him. He has this trial coming up, I believe, in July or September?
September.
Yeah, September, regarding the FARA charges, where he should have registered as a foreign agent. And the big thing in that case, that's the major case that nobody, especially the Biden administration and the Obama administration, want to get out, because he was lobbying the Biden administration at the time as a foreign agent for Ukraine, for China. I mean, the list goes on, and nobody's talking about it.
I mean, they're not going to. They're going to try to bury it as much as they can, number one. Number two, if we apply the same standard, what was it, 96, the Biden bill, going after a lot of the African Americans in the inner cities with the crack cocaine and with the drugs and the guns, if we apply the standard that his degenerate octogenarian father came up with, he would be, I'm going to use your phrase, under the jail.
Right.
Yep,
3 strikes, you're out. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And not only was he did this with the gun violation, but also they said he was trafficking women, prostitutes. I mean, the list goes on.
Well,
this guy,
he can traffic prostitutes, but Trump can't screw one and have a hush mouth.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, they said that the one history-making moment he made is, I think he's the first child of a sitting president to be convicted of a crime. So, yeah.
And let me let the audience know, I'm not against prostitution.
Right, we know. All right. So speaking of Biden, I got to move on to his Juneteenth clip. Firstly, I want to acknowledge our super chatter here, Cynthia. She says the real crime is in pay to play at Biden crime family. Yep. It is, and we can't stop talking about this. It has to stay front and center, because this is a major issue that affects our entire country. This crime family has been allegedly selling secrets for decades, right? So I really hope that trial goes on. I hope that they don't plea him out, and it does go on. All right, so next we got to jump into this Biden Juneteenth event. So on Monday, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris hosted a Juneteenth concert featuring Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, on the south lawn of the White House. Take a look here. This is clip number 1.
Nobody but you. I don't wanna love 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 nobody but you. Say what is it called? He said today he will come through. He won't let stop what superhero do. Say I will never fall. No way to love. A love like this makes my heart beat. For the rest of my life. All I wanna do is make you proud of me. He said today.
All right. So, first off, before we even get
Don't say
into
it.
Biden, where in the hell did they get these people from on this front row? This is a mismatched
Wait a minute.
group if I have ever seen one.
That was Gladys Knight and the Pips. I saw Gladys Knight and a dick that was pretending to be a chick. That's
Right.
what I saw on standing up there. That's number one. And number two, Biden was stiffer than George Floyd in his coffin.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
He was. I mean, he might as well have been in the coffin because, and again, I'm not mocking him because he's degenerate and an octogenarian because I know a lot of people in my family have gone through this. I'm not mocking him for that, but he should not have been there. He looked like he should have been in a coffin along with that dick pretending to be a chick. Gladys Knight, get them Pips away. I don't know what that was.
No, that was Billy Porter. He is
Yeah.
a Broadway star. He's a Broadway star.
He's a dick pretending to be a
and
chick.
an actor,
Okay.
right? But Shemeka, what are your thoughts on what we saw?
Listen, Biden was standing there like he was thinking, oh my God, this is what that racial jungle produced. So, like he was just, since they integrated the schools, this is what produced, came from that. And I just thought it was crazy that they keep continuing to push this man out in the public when clearly he's not all there. He is not. Jill is a terrible wife for pushing him out like that. He should be somewhere being taken care of. He has
Exactly.
lived a good long life. He should not be this puppet. And that's what they're doing to this man. I would never allow someone to do my grandmother or my grandfather like that. This is ridiculous. And we all see that he's not there. I mean, the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah, and not only that, but the front row. I can't get over the front row. Now, this is supposed to be a Juneteenth event. Why do they have these people on here? None of them were from Texas.
Right.
None of them. Why have that was George Floyd's brother there that was standing next to Biden that was trying to wake him up out of his daydream.
Was it?
That was George Floyd's brother. And then on the opposite side, on the other end, I can mention they had Billy Porter. I mean, why did they get these people for? Why were they there?
It's all for the camera. It's all
Yeah.
for show. It's
Yeah.
all for their political agenda. I'm predicting, I hope I'm wrong, but I am predicting that with George Floyd's brother there in this summer kickoff, it's going to be another hot summer. And I'm not talking about just the heat from the sun. These people are going to stir up some SHIT.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Billy Porter looked like he was wearing a sparkling trash bag.
Yeah.
Like, what was he even wearing? And
He
I'm
was
sick
wearing
of
a
him in
gown, like
that
an
tired
Oscar
hair.
gown.
Oh,
Yeah.
he looked so terrible.
He looked terrible. He looked terrible. But again, I guess they gotta lump in Pride Month with Juneteenth, because and somehow spotlight both. I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't understand how Black people do not see that this is pandering to the nth degree. I mean,
Yes.
it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, why would they? I mean, they should see it, but when you have the so-called vice president who on the campaign called the person she's standing next to a racist, and then she happily took the second seat. I mean, why would they not be pandered to?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. But we will continue to follow that story. Again, thank you guys so much for commenting. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already subscribed. You can also like, share, and comment on here, and again, share this broadcast. We certainly appreciate that. You guys know our mantra for 2024 is to be aware and prepare. So what we're doing is we are bringing you the news articles or the news stories, and we're no longer talking to the sheep. We are trying to wake the lions. It's not about changing minds really anymore. At this point, it's about preparing for what's to come. All right. And again, we have our special guest with us tonight, Shemeka Michelle, Blaze contributor for the Fearless on the Blaze. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, so we are moving right along to Nancy Pelosi. So former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi blamed herself for the lack of National Guard troops at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. So she was actually caught on video taking responsibility. This is clip 4. Take a look.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they had. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
All right. So that was a footage from a documentary, I believe, on HBO, shot by the Congresswoman's daughter, Alexandra Pelosi. So again, as rioters stormed the seat of Congress, Pelosi fumed about the lack of accountability and accepted responsibility for a lack of security ahead of former President Trump's Stop the Steal rally. So again, that was a clip. What are your thoughts, Shelley?
I thought as things have been coming, especially since the scamdemic, more and more truth comes out eventually. This is just a part of that. These people will not take responsibility. Had this not come out, she still would be saying that it was everybody else's fault. Certainly it was Trump's fault, because that plays up to their narrative, that plays up to their, their scheming, if you will, their positions to maintain their power. They pretty much know that they can tell their base, which unfortunately happen to be a lot of black people that look like me, you, and Shemeka. They can tell these people almost anything, and nothing will come against if they put Trump in the truth. These people are so rabid and have Trump derangement syndrome, the truth is not even an issue to them.
No. Yeah. What are your thoughts there, Shemeka?
First of all, I was wondering, why is she wearing a mask inside the car? Is it to keep them from smelling the tequila on her breath? I just didn't know. But I don't know. I'm such a skeptic that I kind of believe this is just a little snippet to make us think that she's virtuous and she's accepting responsibility and accountability. I just don't buy it. Nothing they do, I believe. I just think it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all tricks. There's this documentary that says everything is a rich man's trick. And now I just look at everything very skeptical.
Yeah, because to me it's very it's curious that she's there. They wouldn't have let this out if there was not some type of ulterior motive. Now I read somewhere that there was some issue that day with, she did not want the National Guard there, right, because she thought that President Trump was going to use the National Guard to take over the Capitol.
Right. She has the authority as the Speaker of the House at that time. She had the authority to call the Capitol Police and I think activate or talk to the police chief or whatever and activate the National Guard. So, but I see your points, Shemeka and KJ. If there is an ulterior motive, I would think that it has something to do with Trump still being high in the polls and still getting attention even after his conviction. So they're trying to find their way because they've been losing their base for other reasons, but they're trying to find their way to make that connection. If that would be the ulterior motive, that would be my guess.
Yeah, and then, they always want to keep J6 in the front of minds for people, for voters. That is their major play. They cannot run on Biden's record because it's abysmal. So they have to continue to push race and J6. Those are the two things. And abortion.
Right.
Yeah, and
race, J6, and abortion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, and they continue to push J6 as if it was some racist event. And that is why they went out of their way to arrest people that they should not have arrested. They're harassing people that they wanted to silence because let me just be honest, I was there, and a lot of what they are pushing, I'm not going to say there weren't people that went in the building or whatever. You always have nuts at every event. But there were so many different races and nationalities there. I ran into some Filipino women, some Asian women that just wanted to say, hey, we want America to stand. We don't want America to become a communist country. That's why we came here. We saw people just Hispanic, Black. I mean, it was just so many people standing out there singing the national anthem or America the Beautiful. And so they push it as if you had, if somebody like me would have been out there, I would have been hung, with the noose. But that is not what it was. And it just burns me up that they actually have come after people that could say, hey, this is what it was. And people are just ignoring like some of the documentaries that people put out, like Nick Searcy, that actually show how it was there and the camaraderie and just the love. And not everybody was there to actually break windows. People wanted to show their support, and that's what they did. And I hate that the narrative is that everybody was there ready to overthrow the government. Like, my toes were too cold to overthrow anything. As a matter of fact, that's why I left, because I'm thinking this type of weather is not for me.
Yeah.
So,
and I agree with you there. And this is the narrative that they try to paint on every conservative or Trump rally or Trump event. We went to the Stop the Mandates rally, and it was the same thing. I mean, even at Trump rallies, when you go, you find people of all different nationalities, ethnicities. You're able to pray. You can find little groups of people praying, together. It is no, even the ones that I've gone to, I have not had any negative interactions at all. I mean, Shelley, I know you've been to some.
No, I mean, you're right. It's like a camaraderie there, a unity, if you will. The different groups, like you said, different groups doing different things. But one thing that I think we know this and we're aware of this, but the Democrats, just as the left are masters at manipulating language, the Democrats as a party are masters at the race game. Hell, they've been playing it since slavery, Jim Crow, all through the Civil War. So they are masters at using that. That is their quote unquote Trump card, and they know it has worked, so they will keep using it.
Yeah. Well, we will continue to follow that story. Moving right along to Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith had a viral video this week talking about Caitlin Clark not making it to the Olympics to play for the WNBA. This is clip 5. Take a look.
It's not that you're wrong. It's that we don't care. Everything y'all said does not matter for this particular instance. We don't want to hear anything about Team USA. We know they won 7 straight goals. Put Andrea and Shanae up on this screen. I want to look at them this whole segment when I'm talking to them. You just highlighted 7 straight gold medals. Oh my God, we're really worried that they're not going to get an 8th. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster, okay? If we're talking just basketball, you know we're not. You know we're not. Those rosters, right? Those players were on there. Do you know that Christian Laettner also was chosen ahead of Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning? You know why? He was a 2-time national champion. He was a Wooden Award winner. And he was white. And he had his own cachet. He brought it to the table. He was a big-time collegiate player who was white and busting people's you-know-what. They couldn't miss, and they didn't need him. You got a max salary at $250,000. You had attendance, although it was trending in the right direction, certainly wasn't where you wanted it to be. And as Shannon pointed out just the other day, you got a team in the Indiana Fever with their struggling selves, struggling to win a damn game and be relevant. No team in the WNBA was worse other than the winless Washington Mystics, okay? And they went from 4,000 in attendance to 17,000. This girl is box office. I'll even get a bit personal to Chinea Gumake and Andrea Carter. I recognize the fact that y'all are outstanding basketball analysts. You know how I feel about both of y'all. I told you privately. I've told the world publicly. I think y'all are a tag team for the ages. I think y'all are spectacular. But as spectacular as you are about talking the game of basketball, is that why you think I call for you to be on First Take? It ain't just because of your expertise. It's because you're great television. You matter. You draw an audience.
All right.
All right. So, want to get your response on this, Shelly. Again, just to give some backstory, he is basically saying that he believes Caitlin Clark should have been on the Olympic team because she's good TV.
Right. So last week, I made the comment that those black girls in particular were jealous and they were hazing Caitlin, right? And this what I don't think the Olympic team had been selected at that time. But I wholeheartedly agree with Stephen A. Smith. And let me tell you why. Not only is he just right in what he said, his rant, but this is the difference between a man running a business for business purposes and two women or women running it because it looks cute or it's not, it doesn't make the mark or emotionalism. Look, if you're running a business, they're ball players. They should be trying to make money, not for the aesthetics. They're not museum curators, okay? They're not trying to interior decorate a house. A house needs a foundation and walls before you put the furniture in it that looks cute. So he was correct, and he corrected them, and he basically gave them a marketing 101 lesson.
All right. What are your thoughts here, Shemeka?
So what was it, like 11 ladies and then Brittany Grinder? Is that the list that's actually going? Look, if I could mute the words Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, WNBA, I think I would, because I'm so tired of it. But if we're honest, Caitlin is why so many people are watching, and it just is what it is. Angel Reese likes to take credit because she waved her, hand in Caitlin's face or whatever. No one cared about you before. We don't care about you now. It is people that are coming to watch Caitlin. So if they want it to be as usual at the Olympics, then yes, take the lesbians that you're taking. But if you actually wanted to bring eyes with you, then you would have had Caitlin there, because I could tell you I'm not watching it. I don't care. Right. It's not going to be as exciting to me. And so I agree with Stephen A. Smith. If you wanted to bring the eyes, the person that's packing arenas, you bring Caitlin. But, it's whatever. Have the same boring games that I didn't even know they had won 7 before. I've never watched it.
Neither have I. I have never, ever watched. I don't know any WNBA players' names except for the she, Brittany Griner. And I don't know any of them. It's Only reason why we're actually talking about it is because of Caitlin Clark.
But again, I don't know. I'm like you all. I didn't watch the Olympics or the WNBA.
I do watch the Olympics.
No, the WNBA, I mean, and I didn't know those names. I didn't even know those two ladies' names on his platform there.
Me
but
either.
he made a marketing business financial case, right? Even if they, like he said, it doesn't matter if they can win without Caitlin, they can win with her. That's not the issue. The issue is marketing. And what I thought he was going to say, he pointed out somebody, one of the white people he named, but I thought he was going to go further and say to them two black women, the only reason that you all agreeing with this is because the woman is white. That's it. I know. That's it. That's the reason why they don't want her there, because she's a white woman.
Yeah,
And straight. And she's a
Very
white
straight.
woman who is straight.
Yes, because most of the WNBA women are gay. Yeah, and this is what they try. It's a leftist organization. They try to play to a lot of leftist people, you know, with the pride stuff, with the female empowerment stuff, and Caitlin Clark is just not that. She's not black. She's not gay, and she goes
just plays ball.
Right, just plays ball. She's from Iowa, which is not, you know.
She has her own hair.
Right,
You know,
right.
she grows her own eyelashes.
Exactly. So, yeah, I agree with them on that there. I know this isn't on the schedule, but did you guys see his take on Will Smith? So did you guys see what he said about Will Smith and
I saw some of it. To me, he seemed to be going, he was trying to say, maybe I got it wrong. He was trying to say Will needs help, or he should apologize, but he's not going to watch any more of his movies until he comes around. I mean,
yeah, well, you know, Bad Boys 2.
Right.
Well, was it 3 or 4? It's 4. Okay,
Four.
Bad Boys 4 is coming out in theaters. I think it may be out.
out.
But it's out, okay. And Martin Lawrence and Will Smith have been doing press for it. And Stephen A. Smith came out and said that he is still upset with Will Smith after the whole smack of Chris Rock.
Right.
And he felt like people shouldn't watch it because Will Smith has not apologized up to his black audience for doing it. Oh, do we have it here?
It's so long. I didn't even watch it because it was just too long. But Stephen A. Smith,
it was long.
yeah, he should get over it, because I heard that they made $104 million the first weekend at the box office.
Yeah.
So Will has loyal fans and following. I guess there are people that love these bad boy movies. I actually did go see it myself. We had to talk about it on the show. We did Fearless at the Movies. And I mean, I get what Stephen A. is saying. He would like for Will to, I guess, publicly apologize to Chris Rock, but you're not stopping anything. According to those ticket sales, people forgave him.
Before you go on, I have a clip of it so the audience can understand what we're talking about. Take a look here. We won't play the whole thing.
And it doesn't mean that it's a license for me to negatively impact Will Smith. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was a devastating thing.
Hey.
I'm not talking just for Chris Rock, who's a friend of mine. I'm talking for the black community, because obviously Will Packer was the first black producer to be doing the Oscars in its history. And that was a devastating blow to him. Will Smith came out with Emancipation a year later for Apple and all of that stuff. Will Smith was sensational in that movie. So was Antoine Fuqua, the esteemed director and producer extraordinaire. One could easily argue that both of them would have won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
And that Will slap cost Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua an Oscar.
Do we have it where he was asking?
That's what I was thinking about.
Who was?
I was thinking about black folks everywhere aspire.
So what'd you say?
Okay. Yeah, it was very long. It was very long. You guys should take a look. But I just felt like, who is he?
I can appreciate his sentiment. We still hear it, Chadwick. I can appreciate his sentiments on wanting or maybe urging, asking Will to apologize, because he did do a public act towards Chris. That was public. It wasn't done in private. So I can appreciate that. But I'm like Shemeka, he's probably not going to get it. So don't hold your breath.
Well, he did. Will Smith came out and he did do an interview where he He said he tried to reach out to Chris Rock, and I don't think he ever was able to reach him. But he said he was sorry. You know, he did that whole interview. I can't remember who it was with, though.
Yeah,
Well, he may have put it on his Instagram page. But I'm just like, I mean, you know, it's just, to me, Stephen A. Smith always got something to say.
Yeah, he does, but I can appreciate him saying you should apologize publicly. I mean, or to Chris Rock, of course, but to the public at large. He totally upset that event. I mean, not that the Oscars, you know, are whatever they are, a whole lot of foolishness there, but he did upset the whole decorum.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think people went out to watch it though because they, you know, Will Smith back in the day, Fresh Prince, parents just don't understand. We thought he was the
Exactly.
man. And so with Bad Boys, we actually get to see him as a man opposed to as Jada's bitch.
Right.
So I think a lot of people go out to see Will for that reason alone.
I agree. Well said. All right. Well, speaking of man bitches, we move to Spokane, Washington. So here we have an issue here where Lime scooters will now shut down if driven over a pride flag crosswalk. Take a look. This is clip number 6.
Just saw this group of teenagers like deliberately making marks and scratch marks with their Lime scooters, like just all around.
Several witnesses confronted the group and called police.
We're not going to sit by as we watch people deliberately commit a hate crime, like right in the middle of downtown.
After looking at security footage, officers arrested 3 teenagers. 2 are minors and 1 is 19-year-old Ruslan Turco.
You are charged with 1 count malicious mischief.
Turco had his first appearance in court this afternoon. The judge released him under the condition he doesn't go near the crosswalk or the other teenagers. Prosecutors, though, had asked the judge to set a $15,000 bond since that's how much it costs to repaint the mural.
The community really came together to raise the money for them to be able to do it before the parade on Saturday.
Now this vandalism just hours after that repaint and only a few weeks after someone else set fire to the mural.
It sucks to be reminded in moments like this that there are still people out there that, you know, have hate in their hearts for other people. So.
All right. So I want to get your thoughts on this, Shelley. I mean, do you believe this is a hate crime?
When you don't prosecute real crimes and crimes where real people are really injured and harmed and maimed, this is what you come up with, the left, their foolishness. But these people are so petty, they're so small-minded, anything that they don't like is a hate crime, like you said. But let's go back a little bit, because I remember, about 4 summers ago, what do they call it, the Summer of Love? They were burning every damn thing. Every flag, every police car, the police barracks, they were burning down stuff. And the journalists had to get on the news and say, in a mostly peaceful protest with the fire and embers in the background. These people are a joke. Let me look at my notes real quick, I'm sorry. In 2016, there was a group called Don't Shoot Portland that claimed to be, wanting to stop violence, whatever. They along with Black Lives Matter, burned down U.S. flags, anything American or patriotic. They are a joke. They are the radicals. They are the fascists. They are the tyrants that they claim to be afraid about and they paint the right as. These people are, they're liars. They're coming after our American way. That's ultimately what they're doing and what they want. They are inventing things as they go along.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Shemeka. I mean, you see this lady talking about this. It's a hate crime?
What was a hate crime was her in that tank top, that midriff. That was a hate crime. I just think it's silly because, yes, we're not prosecuting people that actually need to be prosecuted. And just personally telling a little personal story, my uncle was murdered in December because someone knocked on his door at 6:30 in the morning, someone he was familiar with. So he opened his door but didn't open the storm door and said, hey, look, you can't come in here. And the person shot and killed him. But come to find out, this person not only was a convicted felon who had committed murder and served 15 years before, he had just shot someone again before shooting my uncle and was let out on bail. So when they talk about going over a rainbow, I wish I could stick some charcoal in my shoe and go out to my own streets here in front of the city council to see if that foolishness is out there, and just walk across it like I'm clueless. Oh, something's on my shoe. What's going on? As I just skate across it because it's silly. And the things that the left want to prosecute in comparison to the things that ought to be prosecuted, and some of these people who should have the book thrown at them and never see the light of day. I don't care about a rainbow in the street. I think that's silly. It's ridiculous. It's not a hate crime. Well, I mean, it's the street. The street doesn't have feelings. So I just think that it's really silly, and I don't take them serious. And this type of stuff just pisses me off. Like, I don't care.
And it's not only about the being a hate. It's not a real flag. I could go out and make a flag, and it would be the same equivalence to this pride flag. The pride flag means nothing. They do not have a nation. They do not have a community. It is nothing.
They are building a nation. That's the thing. They're building a nation. And not only are they building a nation that is detestable, they're doing so on public. The word public means taxpayer funded. They're doing it on taxpayer dime and on taxpayer or public streets and pathways. So, and then they're throwing it in your face saying that you are, defacing their property that's paid for with taxpayer money. Shemeka, I'm like you. I want a pair of Sammy Davis tap shoes so I can go and take my little happy ass down there and tap dance all over it. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and if people don't look at this and understand, they are dealing with some serious mental issues. I don't know what else you can look at. I mean, a flag, it's not even a real flag on the ground, and they're trying to lock somebody up for walking across it with the school, driving across with your scooter.
They did it during the Summer of Love, as they call it. They remember they painted DC. BLM or Black Lives Matter. Where have you known any government taxpayer, government agency to get any supplies that quick? I mean, you can't get them. You might work for a government or wherever you work, you might need toilet paper or you might need pencils and paper for the copy machine. It takes at least a week to get there.
Yes, got to put in a requisition and everything. Yeah.
Right. It's ridiculous. And people are just letting this stuff ride, and they're just going along with this instead of standing up against these mental patients. That's what they are.
Gregory Hines, Sammy Davis Jr., where are your tap shoes? Please. We need another pair. Who else can we gonna find somebody else? All three of us can get a pair of tap shoes and go tap dancing.
Yeah, I'll take my dog over there and let him go to with pooping all over it. Yeah.
Right. We could take Joe Biden since he likes to poop in public. We could just take him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, that does it for us tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to get final thoughts from you ladies. I'll start with you, Shelly.
Well, you know what I'm definitely going to say tonight. Stand up. Speak up, show up, and strap up. And strap up when you go and tap dance on them damn flags down there in Portland and wherever else they drawn them.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Shemeka. Any final thoughts for the audience?
No, thank you, ladies, for having me. Thank you to the audience. I really appreciate it. And I think I'm just going to go and mute the N-word so that I can have a peaceful night.
All right.
Thank you,
All
Shemeka.
right. Yes, thank you so much. And same here, I always say we are dealing with not just the mental left. It's a spiritual warfare that we have going on here. These people are pushing darkness and evil and things like that, and we must stand up against it. As I always say, our mantra here is to make you aware and to prepare for what is to come. And that's what we're here to do. So thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Again, you can check us out on our website at www.popandpoliticslive.com. You can also, I saw that pop up, our Instagram. We're on Instagram at Be More Pop Stars. So follow us there so you can know where we're going to be and what we're doing and things like that. And again, we will be back here either Friday or Saturday night to bring you the latest. But again, thank you so much for joining us, Shemeka. Again, you can find Shemeka on Blaze TV with Jason Whitlock on Fearless as a contributor there. So definitely check her out there. And we have her ex Twitter handle posted there. So again, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.